nombre es Carlos Duarte, soy un ecólogo marino y tengo la fortuna de contar a Rick Fox como amigo y colaborador. Rick es 3 veces campeón de la NBA, capitán de los Boston Celtics, capitán después de LA Lakers, mentor de Kobe Bryant, la época dorada de LA Lakers, después una carrera en Hollywood que continúa todavía, pero ahora le tenemos aquí en COP27 como una fuerza en la acción climática. Y voy a preguntarle a Rick qué es lo que estamos haciendo aquí, por qué está en COP y qué es lo que le inspira de estar aquí. So, Rick, you are a team builder, you are a captain, you lead, and then you've been leading in many areas, and now you're here in COP27. What brought you to COP27? What are you adding to our climate debate?
Well, thank you, first of all, for having me. It's an honor. My greatest regret as a Laker is that I didn't play with Pau Gasol, one of the greatest players in the game of basketball,
Yes.
and obviously in Spain. Pau, I love Pau, so I hope he's doing well, Pau, out there. What brought me to COP was the invitation of the Prime Minister of the Bahamas to join him, and a second trip for him to share with the world the urgent need for climate solutions. This is my first COP, but what I've discovered is it's a beautiful exchange of ideas. There's a lot of conversations of what is possible. There's a lot of conversation about what is needed, but what has really inspired me, having spent 3 days here now, is spending time with the people that are actually in action. Respectfully, we're having conversations, but then I get opportunities like this, Carlos, to have conversations with you, where I've spent enough time with you to know whether it be the brainchild of yours with blue carbon and the impact of the oceans and the impact of coral in our world. And I get excited about that because it gives me hope. It gives our country hope. It gives small island developing nations hope that we can solve our own problems. It's one thing to think that the world may be a solution for us, but that's very hat in hand. It's very please, give us money, as opposed to coming up with solutions for ourselves. And you're paving the way for that with your work in the Bahamas through seagrass research that you've done, and you're lighting the way. So thank you.
Thank you, Rick, but it's reciprocating. So you come here, you see some action opportunities, but you also come here to deliver action opportunities.
Yes.
So tell us just briefly about Partana.
So Partana is a company that was founded 3 years ago. It's founded in the Bahamas, where we lead in carbon negative building materials. We look to build in a more sustainable, regenerative, nature positive fashion. We avoid carbon emissions in the creation of our materials and our spaces. We, at the same time, remove carbon, draining the tank, or the tub, as you would say, of the emissions that are already out there in the world. And then we generate carbon credits from each home built. Yeah. So when you think of the environmental, social, and governance components of what everyone here is trying to move towards, Partana provides a solution to provide hurricane resilient homes out of the Bahamas where it's needed most. Now, what you illuminated me on when I shared this technology with you a few months back actually, was the value of this in regards to the brine created in the world. Our technology uses a large amount of brine. If you know anything about brine, it's from desalination, which water is obviously a commodity in the world that we need most dearly. In some areas like this region, it is more valuable than oil. And so when you create that through desalination, the byproduct of that is a waste material called brine that is not very good for our environment. So if you can take that brine, as you've educated me on now, and use it in a solution capacity to reduce the waste from brine and use it for good, then now we're solving another problem. So that's exciting.
Yeah, I was very inspired by learning about the work you're doing in Bahamas. because there's a lot of work on carbon cured cement and use cement production to now remove carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
But I never heard of anyone that had thought about embedding brine into cement.
Yes.
So in Spain, in our country, for instance, in my island, Mallorca, much of the water comes from desalination, and we return brine to the ocean, generating problems. So now we know that we can actually solve two problems. We can create cement and homes that remove carbon dioxide, and at the same time take some of the brine and then remove the pressures from marine life. So thank you, Rick, for what you're contributing to the debate, and also being a champion and a captain for climate.
Well, I'm also a champion for coral. We're going to leave no coral behind, and I'm excited about the way we can collaborate Partana with coral restoration and resilience, and have the two work together to make the oceans a beautiful, more better place.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Carlos. Thank you.